Have you ever been with your significant other in a intimate moment when she turns to you and says, "That's amazing, honey, but sometimes I just wish it was a little bit smaller"? Well, to be honest, it's not just my wife that's told me that, but many, many other girlfriends throughout my life. Every single time I let them borrow my camera. That's because I use big, bulky lenses. I use zooms. I use cinema lenses, and I like to rig out my cameras. But truth be told, there's another side of me, the minimalist side, that wants to strip it all away, reduce it all down, and go small.
We'll be sitting around and somebody will say, "Hey, let's get small."
And so recently, I have been experimenting with using much, much smaller lenses in my shoots. It all started with the Blackmagic Pocket OG, serving as a reminder that good things come in small packages and MFT lenses are refreshingly compact. Then I went to Japan with the Sigma FP, and my desire to keep things small was even more pressing now that I was walking 15 Ks a day. And the less I had in my backpack, the more comfortable I'd be. And this is when I started using the Canon NFDs, as they offered such a small, light form factor that taking 2 or 3 of them was no heavier than taking one zoom lens. It was around this time that I realized the obvious benefits of the mini lens. This led me to purchasing 2 of the Sigma Contemporary series lenses, the 45 and 90mm 2.8. These tiny lenses might just be the best example of compact full frame lenses that you can buy for any L-mount camera such as the S1 II or S5 2X, with all metal housing, full frame, and a relatively fast aperture, and yes, they do have autofocus. And just when I thought these lenses couldn't get any smaller, TT Artisan asked if I'd like to review the 40mm f2, which is somehow even smaller than the Sigma 45. Now, TT Artisan did provide me a copy of the lens. I do have an affiliate link should you be interested in the lens, but this is not a sponsored review and they have no say in the content. Now, personally, I couldn't resist trying this lens because at $168, it's a very affordable option for filmmakers, and the fact that it's f2 means it's actually one stop faster than my small Sigma Contemporary 45mm lens. It's also being made available on L-mount, which is the advanced copy I got to use with my S1 II. The lens should shortly be available worldwide via their website, if not already, and you can find a product link in the description. The final reason I agreed to trying it is that 40mm is actually one of my favorite focal lengths. I'm someone who enjoys in-between lenses. For instance, the 50mm is a more traditional focal length, but I find it limiting because you're committed to more of a portrait look that just cuts off too much of the background. It's the same reason the 28mm is one of my all-time favorite focal lengths. It's not as wide as a 24, not as tight as a 35, but somehow offers more than each of them can individually. For me, these lenses are the perfect travel lenses, small, discreet, and most importantly, lightweight. They also fly well on a gimbal due to their tiny footprint, allowing you to use a heavier camera with less weight up front. You can also have them running on your B cam with something like a Shark Nano slider and not worry about the weight of the lenses ruining the smoothness of your tracking shots. It used to be that the words small, full frame, and autofocusing wouldn't be in the same sentence, but in 2025, companies like Viltrox, Sigma, and now TT Artisan are flipping the script. Here are some side-by-side comparisons looking at it against the Sigma 45mm. Notice the additional bokeh blur you get when you're stopped down to f2. I also had the opportunity to use this for a fun little narrative shoot where I fully leveraged its low light capabilities and really pushed the lens in darkness. This was an all mini lens shoot, and I was very pleased with the results. Again, at this price, it's really hard to find fault with the lens. I love how small it is. This, along with a 28mm lens, would probably be my ideal travel lens setup. With regards to downsides, the autofocusing is just okay, and when you have one subject in frame, it normally has no issues, but once you start having multiple subjects or using it in low light environments, it will definitely start to hunt. Still, it's also hard to attribute this entirely to the lens's autofocus, as the S1II's autofocusing capabilities as a whole tends to be average at best. Fortunately, because it's all metal housing, you can just switch it over to manual focus when you need. The other issue is that unfortunately it is only designed for hybrid cameras, with most recent mirrorless cameras being covered, but one system it's not compatible with is the Blackmagic's L-mount lineup, which means I could not try it on my Blackmagic 6K full frame or Pixis 12K. So if you're using Blackmagic, this lens is not for you. It has a manual clickable iris, which I also appreciate, and its lens cap has a built-in USB port so you can download updates directly into it, which I thought was a nice touch for such a cheap lens. My only real complaints with the lens is that you definitely get some focused breathing with it, and its AF responsiveness in more challenging condition leaves a little to be desired. You can tell that the Sigmas are more premium lenses with better build and a sharper image, but they're also significantly more expensive, offer a stop less light, and are just a little bit bigger, albeit not by much. So there's the real trade-off. If you're thinking of picking between the Sigma and the TT Artisan, for image quality, I would definitely pick the Sigma 45, and it definitely has like a three-dimensional quality that I really appreciate. For affordability and a more preferable f-stop and focal length, I would pick the TT Artisan. As a compact lens, a cheap starter lens, and maybe something to just dip your toe into prime lenses, it's really hard to beat it at this price, and I love the fact that it's come to L-mount. It will certainly be staying in my bag for any travel I'll be doing in the near future. I mean, the idea that you can now build an auto-focusing lens set of these sort of tiny primes for the same price as one large flagship prime lens is pretty crazy, and I'm here for it. Do you have a favorite mini lens for your camera? If so, let me know in the comments. As always, I am the smaller Savage filmmaker, and I'll see you when I see you.